Why play Ivern Jungle? Well, he is one of the best support junglers. He has surprisingly good damage, he brings a good amount of lockdown, and he's really good at kiting and peeling. However, as a support jungler, he is reliant on his team, and with his passive, he can suffer from getting invaded early. Ivern's passive makes it so he can't attack or deal damage to non-epic monsters. Instead, when he clicks on a jungle camp, it takes him 2.5 seconds to put a grove around the camp, which costs him health and mana. This grove then takes time to mature, and this gets faster the higher level he is. When the grove is fully mature, he can then go back to it, click on it, and he gets the full gold and experience. He can also smite a jungle camp that's got a grove on it to instantly gain the golden experience. Ivern's Q is a straight line skill shot which deals damage and roots the first enemy hit, revealing them. Ivern and allied champions can then right click this target to dash to their location, putting them at their maximum attack range. Also, instead of right clicking the target, Ivern can recast Q to dash straight to the target. Also, if this hits a jungle camp, of course it's not going to damage them, but it does reduce the cooldown by 50%, so it can be a great way to move around your jungle faster. Ivern's W has a passive where while he's in a brush, his attacks deal additional damage, and this bonus lasts for 3 seconds after leaving the brush. The active causes him to grow a patch of brush for 45 seconds, granting sight of the area. However, they instantly despawn if they go out of allied vision. Ivern can have up to 3 of these stored at one time, and allied champions who are in these spawned brushes gain additional damage on their basic attacks. Ivern's E applies a shield to himself, Daisy, or an ally. After 2 seconds, this explodes, dealing damage to all nearby enemies and slowing them. However, if this doesn't damage an enemy champion, the shield is reapplied for the same strength and duration without exploding. Ivern's ultimate is Daisy, which causes him to summon a big rock golem called Daisy. She can then be controlled to use R to move her around. Daisy is an absolute beast, and when she attacks the same target 3 times, the third attack is empowered, dealing additional damage, and stunning and knocking up enemies in a shockwave. For combos, start with W into your Q and then reactivate it. From here, shield yourself and keep spamming away with attacks. And your all-in combos use W into your ultimate. Use E on Daisy and then keep spamming away with attacks until Daisy uses her knock-up. And you can use this to land an easy Q. For matchups, Ivern can struggle against champions with great engage who can blow up a backline, and he does great into champions who enjoy extended fights who he can simply outvalue with shields and CC. For runes, take this. Aerie makes everything you want to do better. For build order, start Blue Monster and Pot into a Moonstone and Tier 2 boots. After this, a Redemption and Staff of Flowing Water are great pickups, with all of these items being viable too. For skill order, start Q then E then W before maxing E then Q then W, taking ult whenever you can. For summoner spells, take Flash and Smite. Starting the game, your jungle clear is going to be very different from most junglers. A good go-to is to mark wolves into blue buff and then smite it. After this, mark Gromp, Raptors, red buff and Krugs, before going back to collect wolves, Gromp and then the entire red side. From here, as a support jungler, you don't want to fight for Scuttle Crab, but if one's available, mark it and smite it. And now you can either look for ganks or simply back and start your second clear. When ganking, your success is going to live and die on landing your Q, as having all your allies stashed to that target is incredibly powerful. Entering the mid game, you're amazing at securing objectives. You get amazing picks with your Q, it's difficult to approach when there's tons of brushes everywhere, and Daisy is simply a beast. Entering late game teamfights, you want to play the backline support using Daisy to frontline. Your shields at this point in the game are on a very short cooldown, so spam them on your carry. Otherwise, use Q to peel or help your team engage, and use your Ws for protection or damage as needed.